Well, hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Ladies and Gents Listen Up. How are you today, Mr. Carpenter?
I'm doing well, Dr. Liz, and how are you?
I'm doing well. I am well. I'm excited to get into Grandma's cookie jar and find out what wisdom is in store for us.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Decent
Today,
topic.
though, all right, today, though, we are going to talk about this epidemic of loneliness that was brought up on one of our previous shows. So we want to make sure that we address that issue, right? Before we get started, let's go ahead and get on over to Grandma's cookie jar. Grandma's cookie jar holds the wisdom, and the nugget for today says, "No more as is, change the world." Hmm, that's pretty good. And then on the flip side, be strong. You never know who you are inspiring. Hmm. Wow, that one go that's good. That's good. See, I grab those nuggets when I pull them out of the jar, so I don't pre-read them. I just look what's next and what flips out next, and I love that. No more just business as usual, right?
Hmm.
Before we get started, normally we talk about the comments and everything for today, but I think we would just not do it justice if we didn't give some type of respect to our beloved Tina Turner, who passed away this week. That just struck. I mean, that just hit me so hard. Beloved favorite at age 83. She was born Anna Mae Bullock in 1939. Singer, songwriter, dancer, actress, and author. She was deemed the queen of rock and roll, and her career launched with the Argentina Review, and that launched her career. But she was so amazing and so wonderful. I mean, just such a just so much drive, determination, perseverance, and such a wonderful talent. It is very challenging to reinvent yourself midlife, but to actually come from the challenges she came from, and then plunge into a new career as a solo artist. So just wanted to pay our respects to our beloved Tina Turner today before we get started.
Thank you for that, because I lost my private dancer.
Oh my goodness, I tell you. So again, our respects and comfort to her family and to the world who just loved her. So alrighty, so let's get into today's topic. And one of our viewers, she commented and it just tickled me. She said, "Oh yes, found this video. Okay, I'm listening. This is so great." This was from Raquel Taylor Gooden. So thank you for commenting and for watching. Let us know what you think about some of the other episodes. This was she commented on conflict resolution. So that's where the comment came from. So, alrighty. Today we are going to talk about this epidemic of loneliness. And as I was doing some research today, or not today, as I was doing research to prepare for today, there was a lot that I discovered that I didn't understand how the epidemic or how loneliness truly affects us and how it affects our mind, body, spirit, even our health. And it's just a huge topic. And I know you have some information from the U.S. Surgeon General. So I'll go ahead and bounce the ball into your court, sir.
Well, the U.S. Surgeon General said that widespread loneliness is one of the major epidemics in the world, in the United States right now today. As a matter of fact, he said it's worse than smoking. He said that we're not connected anymore. He even gave personal accounts to his bout with loneliness, and he made a classical discovery that saying that when he worked as Surgeon General, he was so committed to his job, and he worked and he worked. He was so committed to his employee, his co-workers, and the people he served, that when he got out of that position, he was lost. He didn't have that contact with everybody every day. So amongst people, he was so lonely. And he even gave figures, and I've got figures somewhere. Now I don't want to bore you with a lot of figures, but he said that it gives you diabetes, it gives you stress, it gives you stroke, and he just gave all kind of problems with obesity, and so much is contributed to that. And even myself, I could even give you accounts. I didn't realize it, but after reading, I read about 4 reports that he put out. I realized I suffered from loneliness myself, and it was in the form of depression. and I was prescribed Zoloft, a medicine. And I didn't realize, I thought it was PSD from the military at the time, but it wasn't. And I'm a people person at heart, and I'm around a lot of people, but I don't have those connections. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not letting people get close enough to me where I'm having that intimate exchange, where that closest, I'm not connected. And that connection is the issue, because a lot of us are in relationships. We have relationships with our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our loved ones, stuff like that. But if you don't have that deep connection, and that's what we need, because we're so social beings, because God made us a family, He made us to be social beings. And without that social connection, your mental health as well as your physical health suffers. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
one of the studies, he even said that he talked about this person that had worked in the food service industry. Surgeon General said person worked in the food service industry, and said the guy wasn't making much money, and said he didn't have a really important job, but his interaction with the customers and his coworkers day to day, he was okay. He wasn't making much. He was barely making a little over minimum wage, but he had a good life. He hit the lottery and won millions of dollars, and he got a gated fence house and set himself away from the world. And the dude was miserable. He started having health issues, and he went down. And he claimed the worst thing in the world happened to him was winning those multi-million dollars. And that
Wow.
loneliness is. And I'll
That
turn to
that's
Kim.
that's so yeah, because the reports that I read as well, that there is a healing effect of social connection and community, and then I also know that part of the 12-step recovery programs, any either behavioral or the any type of addiction, the part of the recovery is network, is being a part of a community. And it says that 1 in 2 adults in America reported experiencing loneliness. 1 out of 2. That's huge when we talk about it being an epidemic. And it also is a threat to public health. And going back to the numbers that you were talking about, this was shocking to me. The risk of heart disease is 29% higher if you're in that mode of loneliness. Dementia, get this really blew me away. 50%. 50%, and then stroke is 32%. And they said some of the causes of loneliness can be triggered from relationship breakups. We talk about that, relationship breakups, bereavement. You just talked about retire. He was forced to retirement basically when we won that money, but that's what retiring. You lose that social connection at work, and or starting like at a university, and you're the only, you're the one, right? You're to yourself. Moving to a new area, away from friends and family or community, there's a release of a stress hormone that causes high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, and so much more from loneliness. And I used to wonder about that when we talk about depression and anxiety, about how the outside forces, like when you're on a roller coaster and you're going up in a roller coaster, and all of those like your adrenaline is pumping and everything is happening. When you get to the top, then all of a sudden now you're anticipating going down and down, right? I was like, how does that's a great example of how our internal well-being affects the external. So it's important that we
Yes.
get the house together.
Yes, and just think about it now with so much electronics, and I'm going to give you. I read about 5 different reports on this, so my stuff is going to might be a little spread out, but it's all connected. And in some of the reports, it even shared that our lifestyle now has changed and made it so we're building loneliness into our lifestyle, because the younger age, and it talked about the kids who now stay in the house and do the electronics, and how they're on the gaming and how they're on the texting, and said none of this stuff gives you that deep connection. So really you're lonely, and that loneliness is affecting you because you don't have those deep connections with family, friend, or like you say, the communities. Back
Right.
in the day, we used to have social clubs that, people used to have social clubs, and especially a lot of, I came from an area where there's a lot of single family with women led single family homes. And a lot of those moms knew they didn't have the money they needed. So they had social clubs where they would raise money and put money aside for their Christmas savings so their kids would have Christmas stuff. So the community worked together. The community worked together because of the social clubs and because how they worked together, because everybody was struggling. So everybody helped each other to come along. And you saw about somebody. You went to next door to check on Miss Sally, or you talked to Uncle Raymond. You went to make sure they were doing okay. We don't do that anymore. We don't even know
Right,
our neighbors' names now.
right, right. And what about the children in the neighborhood? The
Yes, we don't.
children playing on the porch and in the outside, right?
Yes, those connections were so important, not so much for your cousin Raymond or the neighbor next door, but for you too. And just think about it. We said we're going to work and we're going to retire. And here is something that I noticed happened today. People that have lived in the community their whole life and they retire, they go move to another state. They move into another area where they don't know anybody.
Right, right.
And now with crime and such, you don't want to go out there because you're afraid of what's going to happen to you. So you close yourself in, and when you close yourself in, now you put loneliness in your life even more.
Wow, wow. And when you talk about that, that's, I do have some of them we talk back and forth about, this is what causes the loneliness, but like what are some of the things that we can do to pull ourselves out of being lonely and to become more social? What are some of those things, right? So there are 12 things that I pulled up from the British Heart Foundation. And this is the thing, it's like the heart of the matter, right? And community and connection is right to the heart, and that's that connection kind of, it pulled me in when I said, wait a minute, that makes sense, literally it makes sense, right? So here are some of the things that we can do, or 12 ways that we can beat loneliness. Okay, so one, take up a hobby, find something that you like to do, and just go do it just for the fun of it, right? Volunteer for a good cause, just take some time out to just take some time away from all the busyness, the rat race of everything. Make some friends, right? Even going to, and I believe that's on the list. I think, no, actually, I'm going to add one, so it's going to be 13. But going to a gym and learning to, maybe something that you didn't like to do before, maybe a dance class, or getting active with other people, right? Getting into books, reading some new books and getting into that. Some people like gardening, filling your hand in the dirt, kind of just gardening, making something beautiful.
That's a good.
Board games. Yeah, board games. What about that? Some people learn that they love bingo. There was something that I just learned too, and we go back to the yoga. I didn't understand, like, there's a modern yoga, and then there's yoga that's associated with religion, but the modern yoga is so good for stretching, right? Stretching your body out, bringing your mind to peace and meditation, right? Uh, Joining a heart support group. I didn't even know heart support groups were out there, right? Going to the movies, right? Going to find out what it is that you like. Watching something that, something different other than what you would normally go watch. Keeping contact online. It's a great thing now, even though it's not that human touch, because human touch is like the best, right? It's so healing. But even if you can't do the human touch, but being able to see one another, online, that's another way to do it. Now here's one I didn't think about, but they said borrow a dog. If you don't have one, borrow one, right? Uh,
Yeah,
get involved with a team sport, some type of a team sport or what have you. I can't think of what it's called right now, but it's like a abbreviation of tennis and racquetball. I can't
I
remember
think
what.
picket ball, or something like that.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it, but it's
Pickleball,
that.
pickleball, something like that. Pickleball.
Pickleball. That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
pickleball, right? So I've been watching people play pickleball, and that's kind of funny. It's kind of fun. And they say food, friends, and fun is always a way to connect. So sometimes, just call somebody up and say, hey, let's meet on, wherever. Let's go to, maybe even a walk by the water. I think that's really beautiful as well. So there are a lot of ways for us to not just, because sometimes we just sink into what you just said, our own caves. We've made our own little boxes that we separate
Mhm.
ourselves, but there's a lot of ways for us to get connected, get involved, and connect with community. It's just healing.
Yeah, because my one of my things I do on my another job is work in relationships, and I work relationships for the love and the romantic part of getting spouses and getting romantic people back together. But after reading this report, wow, connection is the key now. It's connection. It's connection. Because loneliness, the first thing you have to understand, you got to understand loneliness. Because once you really understand it and you really see it from the Surgeon General's lens, where it's affecting your health, and where now, like when you said dementia, when you said heart disease, when you said stroke, and when you think all those things in there, you're cutting not only your life, the quality of your life, your days. You can't redeem that time. So you
Absolutely.
have to. So you have to realize the importance of now reaching out, letting people in, or you being the support for other people, because sometimes it's not so much for you, it's for the other person. You have people in your family, because the report said your brothers, sisters, and your family and your community, not just yourself, we're all affected by it. I talked to people. I talked to someone this morning, and they were telling me how they were had a problem with loneliness, and they were taking all kind of medicines, and the medicines weren't working, and they didn't see a change until they began to start going out and stuff like this, and start going to restaurants, and start just having coffee and talking to people and stuff like that. And that's what made a major difference, so they could cut back some of the medicines. So the
Absolutely.
major thing, so the first thing is understand your awareness, understand what loneliness is, and then self-awareness. Look at yourself. Self-awareness. If you're gaining weight, if you used to huddle around 165 pounds, and now you're 185, or you're 235, you huddle around there, now you're 245, and you notice every 6 months, it's going up 10 pounds, it's going up. Your issue may not be the weight issue, your issue may be a loneliness issue.
Isn't that something? Hmm.
Yes. These are the
Yeah.
things you got to consider.
Right.
you know and our reports before says that, when men are lonely, we get angry. When men go through that, we get angry. When women go through that, they get depressed. So if you have
Right.
problems getting out of the bed, if you don't have interest in doing anything anymore, your problem may be loneliness.
And just getting out, getting out. I took a walk this morning, and I took a walk by the water, and people, and their pets are out. And when you come back, you can even breathe easier, even focusing like on our breathing, making sure that you're deep breathing when you're out. And we definitely need that vitamin D from out in the sun. So if you can grab some natural vitamin D, all of these things that we get so busy with the rat race of life that we don't even think about it, about self care. And that's what it's all about. And oftentimes, if you just like lock yourself in and you're just busy doing what you're doing and you're just focused, you don't even think about it. You can actually be in a relationship and still be lonely because you're just passing each other by. Or I used to say, maybe meeting on the front porch or something, because everybody is so busy in their schedules that you're not really even connecting. So this is not just for people that are single people, but you can be single. I mean, you can be in a relationship or be married and still be lonely because you're not making that real connection, right? So it's all about connection. It's all about community, and it's awareness. Like you said, being aware makes a huge difference. Turn this
Yes.
off today, so we got a little bit of a ring going in here today. But yeah, but just connecting, and not just connecting via like your phone or what have you. We're talking about some real social connection and getting out of just your norm, just your regular space every day. So this was a really really good segment, because I think it's a lot. Oftentimes, it's just because we're not aware. We don't even know that that's going on with us. Like you said, you can be lonely and don't even know that you're lonely, but the loneliness is still affecting you. So,
Taking care of your emotional well-being, guys. We want to let you know this is serious. We have fun on this show. We play, we laugh, and the chemistry between me and Dr. Liz is outstanding. But this is serious. Take it serious. This is killing people. This is really killing people. Take it serious. Look at your own emotional well-being. Judge yourself. Look at your connection. Look who you're connected to, who's connected to you. Check on your family. Check on those ones that you don't see regularly. Go by their house, pay the visit, sit, sit with them for a little bit, and especially if you have anybody in the senior homes or like that, go and visit, spend some time, take them something, a flower, anything. These things and these acts of kindness prolong someone's life. Now, the academic over the last few years with the anxiety in the world, we've lost so many people and we had a massive transit away from this world. So realize that we want to keep who we have here now. We want to love in our highest. So uh, come on, come on, people, dig in there. Let's take care of the community.
Absolutely. So I believe, I mean, we've talked about it, and hopefully it just brings some awareness to everybody. Just that it's kind of time out to get off that rat race, and I mean, it's okay, that work-life balance. I've been talking about that, with my partners and with some other, associates about, it's time for some work-life balance, and that's why I make myself go and take that walk or go out to the gym, and I mean, just go find something that you didn't already, that you're not doing in your every normal day, everyday, life. Go find something, or go find somebody and maybe give them a smile. You never know, that smile is going to just brighten somebody's day. You never know what they've been going through for the day. So I guess today was all about reaching out, touching somebody in the community, and leaving just leaving an impression. You never know what a smile or a hug or just a nod. You never know what that'll do to somebody, right?
Yes, let's just journey the journey together. Let's hold hands and journey together, and make sure that we take people with us. That's all.
Absolutely. Make this world a better place if you can, right?
Hey,
All right. Don't forget, you all, like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. And y'all stay fearless. Bye for now.